Welcome to my final Plan With Me video for 2020. It has been quite a year. I don't think I need to tell you what happened. I hope this video finds you well. I stand with you on the precipice that is between 2020 and 2021. And who knows what is to come, but I know that God is there. He's here and He is in 2021. We just need to trust in Him and find the courage in ourselves. I don't mean to sound like a downer. I'm actually fairly optimistic in many ways, but you know, there's just that unknowing. Yeah. So as you've seen, I've done the index and I'm working on the key here, and somewhere along the way I accidentally recorded in slow-mo instead of time-lapse, which is what I was actually wanting to do. So that was kind of a bummer. And I tried to do some editing here, but yeah, trying to speed up slow-mo, it's not easy, apparently. It's not so much of a thing. So things will speed back up again in just a moment. I'm loving this new notebook. The pages are very thick and I love it. I'm usually more of a cream-colored paper kind of gal, but so far, the bright white's been working pretty well, and I think it works especially well for this month because it's more of a kind of a fantasy type of theme. I'm just using this one pack of stickers that I purchased on Amazon, which I will try to remember to put a link in the description below. And now we're back to the more speedy pace. And this spread, it's not very involved. It's just a prayer list, and so of course the focus is not on the decoration, it's more on what hopefully the content will be. So that went pretty fast, and now we're moving on to the future log. I usually, if I have a future log, I draw it vertically. Do you have any plans or traditions that you'll be doing on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? I'm just curious. I've been really enjoying getting in touch with people from other countries via Instagram. It's been really cool, and I've specifically been learning about some traditions in Austria, which has been pretty cool. So I'd love to know about any holiday traditions you have, specifically more about the New Year stuff right now, but Christmas or other ones is fine too. I'm just curious about different traditions people have, and I know it even varies sometimes just based off of from family to family. So write down in the comments some traditions that are near and dear to your heart. I don't really have any New Year's traditions, except I usually go to bed earlier now that I'm more of a full-grown adult. I'll be working on New Year's Day, so probably no big plans New Year's Eve, but that's okay. So I'm really enjoying how this color scheme turned out, and here I'm writing out Fika, which is Swedish according to Pinterest, which means a moment to slow down and appreciate the good things in life, which is something that I hope you all find soon. Now for the cover page. I had a leftover photo which I thought perfectly matched the color scheme, so of course I used it. And then I wrote out the word January twice in two different ways because I wasn't sure. And I do end up using both of them, just not for the same spread. I wanted the green because I thought it would pop really well on this page. Here I'm writing out a quote from Live Original on Instagram. When our hearts are aligned with Jesus, our paths align as well. Maybe it's pronounced Live Original. I don't know. I just really liked the quote. Then a quote from Timothy Keller. The mark of the godly man is he likes to change. He says, Lord, show me where I should change, and I'll do it. Show me where I should obey, even where it's hard, and I'll do it. On a side note, that girl sticker, I really love her style. I kind of want her clothes. So, there you go. Oh, and I wanted to update you because in my last video, I believe I mentioned how I had come in contact with someone who had been diagnosed with COVID-19, and I took the test and the test came back negative. I was off work for a little bit just to be safe, which was fine with me. So when you're watching this, I'm actually going back to work today. I'm curious what it will be like post-Christmas 2020. There's where I used the other January. Sorry, the phone's ringing. Anyways, I thought I'd try using a color code to mark events and things. So on the left side, you've got your traditional like block calendar, and then on the right side, I've got more of a list format so I can go into more depth on things. So I thought that might be a fun experiment to try. You may be thinking, wasn't there a huge empty chunk of space on that page still? I will go back in a moment. I will flip back to it when I figure out what I want to do. But for now, I'm on the Mishmash. The Mishmash spread. It looks a little different than it did last time and the time before that and all the other times, because I do include a habit tracker on this page instead of on the weekly stuff. Oh, so here, yeah, back to the calendar page. Using a quote, "We don't set the pace. It is God's plan, God's path, and God's timing," from Tim Keller. Now back to the Mishmash. So yes, we've got a to-do list, a habit tracker, a wish list, and you'll be seeing me add a section for goals and some passages to ponder. Now we skipped one quote. "Trust God to open the right doors and close the wrong ones," from Michael Bliss. Now technically it's one passage to ponder, but I did it in two different translations. So it's 1 John 4:18. The first one's the English Standard Version. "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love." And then the Amplified Version. "There is no fear in love. Dread does not exist. But perfect, complete, full-grown love drives out fear, because fear involves the expectation of divine punishment. So the one who is afraid is not perfected in love, has not grown into a sufficient understanding of God's love." And now I'm making another little block calendar for the content creation page, along with a couple boxes to keep track of my numbers on YouTube and Instagram. Which reminds me, if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, follow me on Instagram. It's the same name on Instagram as it is here on YouTube, so I would appreciate it so much. And if you could share it with your friends too, that would also be amazing. So thank you so much. I love that the sticker pack has space themed things as well as like ocean themed stickers. I don't know, it just kind of seems like two sides of the same coin in a way. And then here's a quote. It says, "Long before the enemy targeted you, God chose you," said Lisa Bevere. And then I attempted some different borders on here. The first one I did really annoyed me very much, so I just did a couple different ones after that. And then of course moving on to the content creation brain dump side of the spread. And I put that little feather pen and ink bottle. I loved it. And then there's that sticker. It says, "But first coffee." Came from a sticker pack that I haven't really used so much, but I thought it fit the color scheme. "Something deep in the human heart breaks at the thought of a life of mediocrity," from C.S. Lewis. And then the other one is, "Let your love for God change the world, but never let the world change your love for God," from Stacy Sanchez. I'm doing something a little different with this finance log. So instead of dividing up different squares with bills and savings and all that, I'm going to attempt a log which will include bills and spending and saving, but I will just list it all together and mark off whether it is bills or just spending or saving or whatever, and just kind of keep track of it chronologically. I don't know. I figured it's worth a shot. I haven't really been using my finance page that much, so I want to try something different, something interesting. Anxiety focuses on the outcome you don't know. Faith focuses on the faithfulness of God you do know, by Brittany Moses. God doesn't want you to long after other people's talents and paths. He wants you to realize your own. Grace Livingston. Pray, then let it go. Don't try and manipulate or force the outcome. Just trust God to open the right door at the right time. From sherises.net. And so when we move on to the thought space page, or the deep thought space, or the free thought space, kind of like a brain dump, but hopefully fancier, I guess. Maybe more profound, hopefully. But yeah, we'll see. I try to kind of make a little border, little dots and stars. And then I ran out of space, so I just kind of went with it and I think it turned out okay. In a moment, we'll do a quick flip through. When there is a fight between your heart and your head, experience has taught me that the best thing you can do is pick up your Bible and remind yourself of what God says. Christine Caine.